You know, in a way, this is kind of like a 3 years later type of video. If you want to say 1 year later, then okay, this is 1 year after the guy's rookie season, wherein he was a really good player, a stud superstar player to be for the Detroit Red Wings, a guy who was kind of battling with Moritz Seider and Michael Bunting and Trevor Zegras for the Calder at the start of the year, but who eventually fell out of that conversation and did not have himself a finalist spot. Good thing the trophy went to teammate Mo. But today we are talking about Lucas Raymond, because he's coming off a season where you could debate was kinda worse than his rookie year. Now, of course, this is not a big deal. The guy is only 21 years old right now as a 5'10", 183 right-handed right-wing player. He's still on his ELC. Sure, he's got a contract extension to go through next year, but for right now, Raymond is fine. Especially as a player who last year had 45 points in 74 games played. Now, sure, the number of points is reduced from last year. 57 points, 82 games in his rookie season, and a 12-point decrease the next year. There was some international experience that Raymond garnered as a member of Team Sweden, where he was actually a point per game in that tournament, which is great to see. But the sophomore slump, the drop in points, that's totally fine. We talk about this every year, but for guys that are playing in the NHL in their first seasons, it's very common to see a decrease in points the next year, simply because when you're playing in the NHL as a rookie, brand new, nobody in the NHL knows how you play in NHL games, there's not really too much of a scouting report on you. You can do what you want to do in the SHL or in the CHL or in the NCAA, and you can be good there. But once you play NHL hockey, the reference point for your play isn't really captured by all these opposing teams. Meanwhile, when you play in your second year, the team across from you has the chance to say, okay, well, let's just look at Lucas Raymond's tape from last year and see his tendencies, see what he tries to do often, and we'll use that data to fight against him and hopefully shut him down in year 2. This is arguably the most important year for NHL players because it gives them adversity. And year 3 is normally when you start to see the upward trajectory, the growth of where things really come together, where an NHL player says, yeah, okay, I was able to do this in my rookie season, I got away with it in my second year, they started holding me more accountable and I wasn't able to make those same simple plays. In year 3, I got to adapt, I got to become better, I got to train better in order to overcome those obstacles. So for top-tier players that start out in the NHL at 19, 20 years old, especially for those who score near 60 points in their rookie years, this is okay, seeing the decline in points, but because there was a decline for Raymond and his season this previous year, you could say there was less of a focus on him in the eyes of the general media. Not the Detroit media per se, but the general media. You saw a lot of people talking about Raymond in his rookie season, and that's okay, it was a big deal. Same with Seider, same with Zegras, etc., but in this year too, you didn't really see Raymond's name pop up in the news cycle as often as it did beforehand. Which is why I wanted to go out there and make this video talking about the expectations for Raymond and how he himself has spoken out about what those are. Link is going to be in the description to this article on NHL.com from last week, Expectations on the Rise for Raymond and the Red Wings in 23-24. This was written by Dan Rosen and it interviews the young Swede on Detroit. The Red Wings forward is eager to show he and his team can handle the pressure of that maturation this season. Last season, I think we took a huge step as a team. We moved in the right direction, Raymond said, and coming into this season, we're taking an even bigger step. Expectations are getting higher for the team, but also for myself, which is a lot of fun. Take a look at the comment that he says in regards to how everything went from last season into this season. I feel like when you first get in, you're young and you think you know everything. It's like that when you're 15 too, and you're like, oh, I got this. But the next year, you're like, oh, I wish I knew this. And the year after, it's the same. So next year, I'll probably have that moment again. Oh, I learned this, but I wish I knew it before. As long as you want to learn and you want to develop, I think that's the biggest asset you can have. That's really good, though. Honestly, hearing Raymond say it out loud, yeah, I wish I knew you wanted... Nope, we're not doing the Steve Lacy thing. Sorry. Let's continue with some more comments from Raymond about his growth. I'm still 21 and my body is developing, so to gain that physical advantage, that's been a big focus. You want to develop yourself, have that drive, and good things come with that. That's a really good sign, you know? Not to say that Lucas Raymond has any control over his height, but 176 pounds at 5'11", that's pretty okay. It's just really good to hear that he's interested in bulking up and getting stronger in that respect. So if Raymond is already pretty good and agile and slick now, imagine if he adds some weight and adds a bit more sturdiness to that frame of his. That sounds pretty good for the way that he plays, not gonna lie. Whether you're young or old or in the middle, it doesn't really matter. You play the same game. You're on the same ice. I'm young, but I'm in it. The first year, everything was new and everything was exciting. The second year, you're getting a bit more of a feel for it. Coming into my third year, now I have more experience, and I know how to deal with certain situations I get put in. I'm excited for it. Raymond says here at the end of the piece that we have expectations and I have high expectations of myself. Hopefully I can take another step and the team can take another step as well. And that's honestly a really good perspective to have about this. Like, I know we noted at the beginning of the video that Raymond had a decline in point production, which, as we had said, it's okay, but there were many parts of his game that did improve on top of that. Sure, the Red Wings didn't give him the best opportunities to get the same amount of points, and you could say they traded some good guys away, which limited the production, because if you're not passing it to Bertuzzi anymore, I mean, what are you going to do? That guy was really good. He helped you get a lot of assists. So with Raymond growing and actually learning and adapting more so to the NHL game in year 2, the point production is going to come later on, when he's able to use not just the growth in his offensive talent, but the growth in his understanding of the NHL game, how he's able to put it all together into a package that grows alongside of these other wings. I've been saying that same word this entire video, growth, but that's what it's all about. Some guys actually have a little bit of an easier time growing and getting better. Moritz Seider still had a pretty good season, all things considered, after his Calder-winning year in 21-22, and his 22-23 also saw a decline in points. The Wings are supposed to get better now, with guys like Alex DeBrincat coming on. You've got Shane Gostisbehere to act as another power play quarterback. Jeff Petrie is here as an offensively minded presence as well. So for all these guys, I really do think that this could be the year that we start to say, yeah, those guys are fully legit NHL studs. Not that they weren't any time earlier, but of course it's tough to go out there and definitively say that about guys who are rookies. For Raymond and Seider, and Raymond especially, I feel like this upcoming year has such great growth potential, not just for their games on the ice, but for their reputations around the league too. We didn't see too much of Lucas Raymond in the news cycle last year, but this is the type of year coming up in 23-24 where I feel like that narrative can change. You know how every single week in 22-23 this previous season that concluded, we were talking every week about Jason Robertson and Tage Thompson, and rightfully so. I mean, those guys had 100 points and they were scoring beautiful goals every night, but other younger guys didn't really exhibit that. And I feel like for Raymond, we could slowly start to approach that territory where he's starting to take over headlines, and other people in the NHL are talking about this guy. Not just Detroit media, but media all over the league. And so when it comes to the way Raymond can progress, he's already said it himself. He's focused on the growth and he feels there's a lot that he had learned. He's hoping to learn even more and hoping to translate that into on-ice productivity. And I'm looking forward to seeing that for sure too. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the way Raymond played last year? How do you feel about him heading into 23-24? And where do you think he goes with points? He had 57 points in his rookie year and 45 the next. Where does he go in 23-24? Does he hit 60? Does he get 65? If he's stuck in the first line the entire year and plays in the first power play, feeding it to DeBrincat, does he get 70 points? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.